Pope Francis has appointed Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the new head of the Congregation for the Evangelization of People.
The monumental change was unfolding. Pope Francis, the 266th pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church, announced his resignation, citing health concerns and the need for a more vigorous leader to guide the Church through contemporary challenges. This unprecedented move sent ripples through the global Catholic community, evoking surprise, concern, and reflection. The College of Cardinals convened in a conclave, cloaked in a tradition and prayer, to elect the new leader of the world's 1.3 billion Catholics. After days of deliberation, white smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel's chimney, signaling the election of a new pope. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle of the Philippines emerged as the chosen successor, marking history as the first Asian pope in over a millennium. Pope Tagle, renowned for his humility, deep theological insight, and pastoral sensitivity, was born in Manila, before becoming the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples. He served as an Archbishop of Manila, earning widespread respect for his compassion and leadership. His election was seen as an acknowledgement of the dynamic growth of Catholicism in Asia and the continent's crucial role in the Church's future. He met refugees, displaced families, and the poor, offering comfort and hope. Pope Tagle's leadership extended to ecological stewardship. Inspired by Laudato Si', he launched initiatives to position the Church as a global leader in environmental conservation. Solar panels adorned Vatican rooftops, and reforestation projects symbolized the Church's dedication to creation care. He also urged world leaders to act decisively on climate change, framing it as a moral imperative. One of the hallmarks of his papacy was his focus on engaging with younger generations, recognizing that youth was not just the Church's future but also its present. Pope Tagle initiated global gatherings and digital outreach programs to foster meaningful dialogue. He invited in diverse groups, including non-Catholics and non-believers, to discuss faith, society, and shared aspirations, emphasizing the importance of listening to their voices in shaping Church's policies. Pope Tagle also worked toward a more inclusive Church, appointing women to leadership roles and acknowledging their invaluable contributions to theology and social justice. These appointments marked a shift towards equity and demonstrated his belief in the importance of diverse perspectives within the Church hierarchy. Pope Tagle became a respected advocate for peace and justice in the global arena. He navigated complex political landscapes to mediate conflicts, called for the collective action on human rights, poverty, and inequality. His encyclicals addressed these global challenges, urging solidarity and moral responsibility. Through it all, Pope Tagle's humility and authenticity remained constant. He embraced the principle of servant leadership, whether washing the feet of prisoners during Holy Week, sharing meals with the homeless, or speaking directly to pilgrims in St. Peter's Square. These actions spoke louder than words, inspiring others to live the lives of compassion and selflessness. As he reflected on his role, Pope Tagle often emphasized the importance of legacy, not as a personal achievement, but as a collective journey toward a Church grounded in love and action. He encouraged Catholics to create their legacies, one act of kindness at a time, fostering a ripple effect of goodness that would endure for generations. Pope Tagle's vision for a legacy was deeply rooted in the gospel values of humility, service, and an unwavering faith. He often spoke of the transformative power of small, consistent acts of kindness, emphasizing that even the simplest gestures could spark profound change. A smile, a listening ear, or a shared amount of silence can heal wounds that words cannot, he once said, urging people to recognize the sacredness of everyday encounters. To further instill these principles, Pope Tagle launched Seeds of Hope Initiative, a global campaign encouraging parishes, schools, and families to take on projects that embodied the spirit of community service. From organizing local food drives to environmental cleanups, these efforts aim to remind people that collective action begins with individual intention. Stories of communities coming together to uplift their most vulnerable members flooded social media, showcasing the ripple effect of compassion he had envisioned. In his travels, Pope Tagle remained a beacon of hope to those living on society's margins. Visiting war-torn regions, he comforted victims of violence and displacement, reminding them that they were not forgotten. He championed the cause of migrants, advocating for policies emphasizing dignity and integration rather than exclusion. "We are all pilgrims," he said, "seeking a home transcending borders and divisions. Let us welcome the stranger as our brother or sister." His efforts also extended to empowering the youth. Recognizing their potential to shape the future, he instituted Vatican-sponsored leadership programs aimed at fostering critical thinking, ethical decision-making, and social responsibility among young Catholics. During these gatherings, he often reminded participants, "The Church is not a monument to the past, but a movement for the present and the future. You are its lifeblood." Pope Tagle's commitment to interfaith dialogue became another cornerstone of his legacy. He hosted historic meetings with leaders of various religious traditions, fostering a spirit of mutual respect and collaboration. Together, they addressed pressing global issues such as poverty, environmental degradation, and human trafficking. His ability to find common ground, even in the face of deeply rooted differences, inspired hope for a world where diverse beliefs could coexist harmoniously. As time passed, his approach to leadership began to reshape the Church itself. Dioceses around the world embraced synodality, giving the laity a more significant voice in decision-making processes. Financial transparency and accountability were prioritized, restoring trust in church's institutions. Educational reforms bridged the gap between doctrine and its contemporary issues, ensuring clergy and laity alike could address the spiritual and practical needs of a rapidly evolving world. Despite the weight of his responsibilities, Pope Tagle remained grounded. His simple lifestyle, often marked by unannounced visits to local parishes and spontaneous conversations with the faithful, endeared him to millions. He continued to draw strength from his roots, maintaining regular contact with his family and the communities that shaped him. To many, he embodied the idea that true greatness lies in simplicity and service. In his later years, Pope Tagle reflected on the remarkable journey of his papacy. He acknowledged the challenges and the opposition that he had faced, but remained steadfast in his belief that the Church's mission was one of love, inclusivity, and unwavering hope. His teachings became a guiding light for generations, not only for Catholics but for all who sought to live lives of meaning and purpose. As he often reminded the faithful, the Church is not a fortress to protect, but a field hospital to heal. His life and leadership exemplified his philosophy, leaving behind not just a legacy but a living testament to the enduring power of faith in action. In his later years, Pope Tagle often spoke of the profound lessons he had learned during his time as the leader of the Catholic Church. He reflected on the moments that defined his papacy, the tears shed with victims of war, the laughter shared with the children in remote villages, and the countless prayers offered in silence for a divided and hurting world. Each experience, he believed, deepened his understanding of the Church's true mission, to be a source of light, hope, and healing for all people, regardless of their background or beliefs. As he grew older, Pope Tagle dedicated himself to ensuring that the seeds he had planted would continue to grow. He initiated a series of enduring reforms aimed at strengthening the Church's foundation for future generations. Transparency in governance, accountability in leadership, inclusivity in decision-making became hallmarks of his legacy. The Vatican was no longer seen as a distant institution, but as a beacon of openness, actively engaging with the world's most pressing issues. Education remained one of his greatest passions. He expanded programs within Catholic universities and seminaries to address contemporary challenges such as climate change, artificial intelligence, and global inequality. He encouraged scholars and theologians to collaborate across disciplines, fostering an intellectual and spiritual synergy that equipped the Church to navigate an increasingly complex world. In his later travels, Pope Tagle's message grew even more poignant. He visited regions devastated by natural disasters, not to merely offer aid, but to stand in solidarity with those who had lost everything. His presence brought comfort and hope, a reminder that the Church was with them in their suffering and committed to helping them rebuild their lives. He also advocated tirelessly for policies addressing the root causes of such disasters, particularly climate change and social inequity, urging world leaders to act with urgency and compassion. Within the Church, he continued to emphasize the importance of dialogue. He convened historic synods that brought together clergy and laity, and even individuals outside the faith,